Hello and welcome to eChinese Learning Pod, your go-to podcast for learning Chinese and exploring Chinese culture. To protect speakers' privacy and enhance audio quality, some or all voices in this episode are created with AI assistance.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the show. Today, we're talking about something that almost everyone in the world recognizes instantly. Black and white fur, round face, slow movements. Yes, the giant panda. But this episode is not just about how cute pandas are. We want to ask a deeper question. Why has the panda become such a powerful symbol of China?
Exactly. Because if you think about it, China has dragons, tigers, eagles, strong, aggressive, mythical creatures. And yet the animal that represents China globally is calm, quiet, even a little clumsy. That contrast alone is fascinating.
Right. So today we're going to explore the panda from 3 angles: culture, global perception, and values. And along the way, we'll introduce a few Chinese words. Not many, just enough to give you a taste of how language reflects culture.
Let's start with the most basic question. In Chinese, the giant panda is called
大熊猫.
Literally, that means big bear cat. Even the name feels gentle. There's nothing fierce about it.
And that gentleness matters. In traditional Chinese culture, there's a strong appreciation for restraint and balance. One key idea is
中庸.
often translated as the doctrine of the mean or moderation. It's about not going to extremes, emotionally, socially, or politically.
That's such a good point. Pandas don't dominate their environment. They don't hunt other animals. They mostly eat bamboo, move slowly, and avoid conflict. In a way, they embody
中庸.
without trying to.
Let me ask you this. Do you think people project values onto pandas, or do pandas naturally fit the values China wants to project?
I think it's both. The animal already existed, of course, but culturally, China chose to highlight the panda. Over time, it became a symbol of a certain worldview: calm, patient, long-term, non-aggressive.
That connects directly to panda diplomacy. When people talk about China's soft power, they often mention pandas being sent to other countries' zoos. This is sometimes called
熊猫外交.
panda diplomacy.
And what's interesting is that panda diplomacy doesn't feel like diplomacy. There are no speeches, no flags, no debates, just an animal that makes people smile. It lowers emotional defenses.
Which raises an important question. Why does it work so well?
Because pandas are politically neutral. They don't trigger fear. They don't represent conquest or dominance. In international relations, that's incredibly rare. Pandas are what you might call low-threat symbols.
So instead of saying, look how powerful we are, the message becomes, look how peaceful and approachable we can be.
Exactly. And that ties into another deeply rooted Chinese concept,
和谐.
meaning harmony. We have learned it in last episode. Harmony doesn't mean everything is the same. It means different parts coexist without open conflict.
I like that distinction. Harmony isn't silence, it's balance. And pandas, again, visually communicate that idea without words.
But there's also a less romantic side we should talk about. Pandas are expensive. They require massive conservation efforts, scientific research, and protected ecosystems. Their survival is not natural in the easy sense.
Which brings us to the idea of
保护.
protection. Panda conservation is one of China's most visible environmental projects. It's often presented as a success story, a species brought back from the edge of extinction.
Some critics ask whether pandas receive too much attention compared to other endangered animals. But symbolically, that attention sends a message. Protecting life is worth long-term investment.
And that long-term thinking is crucial. Pandas don't reproduce quickly. Conservation takes decades. This reflects a broader cultural emphasis on patience and planning over immediate results.
So if we step back, the panda isn't just an animal. It's a story China tells about itself, one centered on harmony, restraint, protection, and endurance.
Let me ask you one final question. Do you think the panda simplifies China too much for global audiences?
It can, yes. Any symbol simplifies reality. But symbols are entry points. The panda invites curiosity instead of fear. And once curiosity exists, deeper understanding becomes possible.
That's a great way to put it. The panda doesn't explain China, but it opens the door.
And maybe that's the most powerful thing about it. Not loud, not forceful, just quietly present, like the panda itself.
And on that note, we'll wrap up today's episode. Thanks for listening. And next time you see a panda, maybe you'll see more than just a cute face.
See you next time.
Want to practice what you've learned today with a real Chinese teacher? You can get a free one-on-one trial lesson at eChineseLearning.com. That's it for today's episode of eChinese Learning Pod. Thanks for tuning in.